Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are heading into the really dense and fascinating world of Philippine folklore.
We are, and we're meeting a major figure there, the Tikbalang.
Right, the Tikbalang. And this isn't just, your average mythical monster.
No, definitely not. It's really a living contradiction in many ways. Hugely popular, visually unforgettable, but also deeply complex.
So we're talking about that classic image,
Yeah.
the horse-headed humanoid figure.
That's the one everyone knows. But it's also seen as a judge, a trickster, sometimes even a guardian. It wears a lot of hats.
Okay, so our mission today is to get past those kind of surface-level monster descriptions.
Exactly. We want to really profile this creature, understand its paradoxical nature, why trick people, but also guard places.
And crucially, pull out a practical guide. Like, if you hypothetically met one, what do the sources say about surviving or even taming it?
Let's start with the look, the visual, because you need to grasp the sheer presence of this thing.
Okay.
It's tall, really tall and bony, humanoid shape mostly, but always with the head and hooves of a horse.
And there's that specific detail about its limbs, right?
Yes, that's key. The sources emphasize its limbs are so long, disproportionately so, that when it squats down, its knees actually come up above its head.
That creates a really unsettling image. Tall, maybe 7 to 9 feet.
Easily. An imposing, elongated silhouette perfectly suited for, looming in the forest.
Okay, towering, horse-headed.
Yeah.
But you mentioned the horse part is actually complicated.
Very. Because, historically speaking, horses aren't native to the Philippines. They weren't there before the Spanish arrived.
Right, so that begs the question. What was the Tikbalang before the horses showed up?
Good question. If you look at early Spanish records, say late 1500s, like the customs of the Tagalogs, they describe the Tikbalang slightly different spelling maybe, but they talk about it as a ghost, a forest spirit, sometimes called a phantom of the mountains or phantom of the wilds, fantasma de montes.
So more of an elemental spirit of place, not a physical horse creature yet.
Exactly. It wasn't nailed down visually like that.
So how did it get the horse head? How did that transformation happen?
Well, it seems to have adapted, almost culturally adapted to colonization.
Okay.
When the Spanish introduced horses, probably brought over from the mainland via China or Japan trade routes, the local stories, the descriptions, started to change. They evolved.
So the image shifted.
It did. The first really specific were-horse account we can find dates to around 1750. It talks about a tall, skinny, dark figure, maybe describing the silhouette in shadow with a long, horse-like face, long ears, and sometimes even short horns.
Wow. So the spirit literally took on the form of this powerful new animal introduced by the colonizers.
It seems that way. It grafted itself onto the new fauna, you could say.
That makes a strange kind of sense. The wilderness incorporating this new power symbol. And wasn't there something about the name itself, Tikbalang?
Yes, possibly. The sources suggest a linguistic link. The Tagalog word balang means locust.
A locust. How does that connect?
Well, think about the Tikbalang's description again. Those powerful, long hind legs, often shown kind of folded or hunched over. Ah, okay, like a giant insect's legs.
Sort of. The idea is the original spirit might have evoked an image of an oversized, maybe bipedal locust. That sense of powerful, jumping, long limbs. It's a more primal image, maybe.
Interesting. So pre-horse, maybe something more insectoid or just purely spectral, then it morphs.
It seems plausible, and the more you look into it, the clearer it becomes that this creature is deeply tied to the land's energy. Because it's not just about confusing travelers.
Right. That's the trickster part everyone mentions. Leading you off the path, making you walk in circles.
Making the forest itself seem to rearrange around you, trapping you. Creating illusory sounds, too, like whispering your name just out of hearing range, or making you think a loved one is calling.
It sounds like psychological warfare, designed to disorient and isolate you.
Absolutely. And this isn't just ancient folklore. There was that anecdote you shared from Antique, I think, in the 1960s.
Yeah, this man, he was at home, and apparently, after some family argument, he and his mother heard these sounds outside. Dull, heavy thuds. Thud, thud, thud. Like something huge hitting the ground.
Exactly, like a giant pestle pounding rice. But the sound kept shifting, moving around the house, first one side, then the other.
And they were told not to look. Right.
Strictly forbidden. But the next morning, they went out. And the ground was littered with these massive, deep, paired hoof prints. Size of a coconut. Inches deep.
Wow.
It looked like some enormous two-legged creature had been literally jumping around the house, like a giant, terrifying game of luksong tenik, which means jumping thorns.
That's incredible. Intimidating, terrifying even, but not directly violent in that instance. More like asserting presence.
Yeah. Playing a game, maybe, but also reminding them whose space they were near. Which brings us to that paradox you mentioned. It's not just pure malice.
No, not at all. This is maybe the most important takeaway from the sources. The Tikbalang is often described specifically as a liminal guardian.
Liminal.
On the threshold, a guardian of the boundary, the edge between the wild places and human territory, a forest sentinel.
Okay, so if it attacks, it's not random.
The sources say its hostility is conditional. Its actions are described as corrective, not genocidal. It's trying to teach a lesson, not wipe people out.
So when does it get aggressive? What triggers it?
Arrogance, mostly. Disrespect, people mocking the forest, chopping down too many trees without thought, taking more than they need, desecrating sacred spots or trails. That's when it steps in.
So it's like an enforcer for the rules of the wild.
Pretty much. Morally neutral in a human sense, but spiritually principled about its domain. It judges behavior within its territory, not necessarily your soul.
Which implies it can be peaceful or even helpful.
Yes. Sources mention it guarding certain springs, warning travelers who show respect about dangers like landslides, or even, in rare cases, choosing a human it deems worthy, someone brave and respectful to protect as a companion.
Okay, so we've got this complex guardian trickster. Let's shift gears a bit. How do you survive it? The sources get almost scientific, don't they? They propose a kind of taxonomy.
They do, which is fascinating. Equisapiens sylvanus. Like horse-human of the woods, it treats it almost like a biological entity to explain its abilities.
So if its tricks aren't magic, how does it pull them off? The stealth, the getting people lost?
Yeah.
What's the biology?
It's built for its environment. Vision, first off. It's got incredible low-light vision, those reflective yellow eyes. That's a tapetum lucidum, like a cat's eyes. Lethal in twilight or moonlight.
But that means?
It struggles in bright daylight. Open, sunny areas are a disadvantage. That's a key weakness.
And the hearing, to track people whispering.
Exceptional. Those big horse ears can rotate independently, pinpointing sound direction. It can supposedly pick up a whisper from over 50 meters away in dense forests.
Okay, and the voice mimicry, whispering your name. It's not supernatural.
It's proposed to be resonant imitation. Highly developed air resonance chambers in its throat allow it to mimic sounds with stunning accuracy. Purely physiological, just very, very good mimicry.
Wow. Okay, what about when it does attack? Is it hunting for food?
The sources suggest it's an opportunistic omnivore, eats small mammals, fruits, that kind of thing. When it targets humans, though, it seems to be more about ritual dominance.
Asserting control over its territory again.
Exactly. Reestablishing who's in charge. It's not usually about nutrition. And if it does kill, it's described as fast, efficient, often a vertebral neck snap.
Okay, so this is a highly adapted, biologically sophisticated predator using stealth and psychological tricks. How on earth do you counter that?
Right. This brings us to maybe the most famous piece of Tikbalang folklore, the countermeasure, the inside-out shirt trick.
Ah, yes. I've heard of that. If you think a Tikbalang is messing with you, making you walk in circles, you turn your shirt or maybe all your clothes inside out.
That's the one. And it sounds completely superstitious, right? Like folk magic.
Yeah, how could that possibly work against the creature we just described?
Well, this is where the sources offer a really clever potential explanation, linking folklore to the predator profile. It's not magic. It's about disrupting its visual tracking.
How so?
The theory is the Tikbalang, being a visual hunter focused on patterns in its low-light environment, isn't just tracking you as a whole person, it's locking on to the specific visual pattern of your clothing. The texture, the way the seams align, the angle signatures your limbs make as you move against the background.
It sees us as a moving pattern, not just a shape.
Precisely. So when you suddenly turn your clothes inside out,
The pattern breaks, the textures are wrong, the seams are different.
exactly. You instantly disrupt the visual continuity it was locked onto. It loses that specific signature, gets confused, and might just disengage because its prey lock is broken. It's Predator Confusion 101.
That completely reframes it. It goes from superstition to a potential biological counter tactic. That's brilliant.
It is pretty neat when you think about it that way.
So, okay, you feel lost, you think you're being messed with, immediate actions.
First, definitely do not answer any voices or whispers you hear. That just confirms your location and vulnerability.
Right, then.
Turn your clothes inside out immediately. It's the primary defense. Third, try to head for fresh running water. Crossing a stream or river is a consistently mentioned weakness. It seems to dislike crossing water.
Okay, water. What else?
Light, torches, flashlights, anything bright. It dislikes open visibility and performs poorly in bright light, remember? And noise, loud, coordinated, non-mimic noise, can break its stealth and maybe startle it.
Makes sense. Disrupt its senses, exploit its weaknesses. But then there's the really extreme option, taming it.
Ah, yes. The ultimate high-risk, high-reward move, according to some legends. It's not for the faint of heart.
I bet. What does it involve?
It requires incredible courage and stamina. You have to physically subdue it. The stories say you need to leap onto its back.
Leap onto the back of a 9-foot-tall, horse-headed creature.
Yep. And then somehow tie it with a special cord and just hang on for dear life while it tries to throw you off. It apparently flies wildly through the air, bucking and thrashing until it's completely exhausted.
That sounds borderline suicidal. What's the point? What do you get if you survive that?
The prize. While it's subdued, you have to find and pluck one of the 3 thickest golden hairs from its mane.
Golden hairs?
Yes. That single golden hair acts as a powerful talisman, an anting-enting in Filipino folklore.
And what does this anting-enting do?
It binds the Tikbalang to you. It becomes your lifelong servant, your incredibly powerful supernatural guardian. You basically harness the wild itself.
That's an amazing narrative. Capturing and mastering the wild spirit. It's no wonder this creature is finding new life in modern media.
Absolutely. It's got such a unique profile, visually distinct, unique folklore role. It's just gold for creators.
Where are people seeing it now?
Well, internationally, probably its biggest exposure has been in video games. It's a recurring demon or persona in the Japanese Shin Megami Tensei series, and its spin-off, Persona. It's been showing up there since like 1992.
Okay, so it has some reach.
But maybe the most stylish recent take is in Trees.
Ah, the graphic novel and the Netflix anime series?
Right. Yeah. Trees reimagines Tikbalangs brilliantly. They're not just forest monsters. They're these powerful, almost elegant, supernatural crime families or gang leaders operating within Manila's hidden magical underground, deeply tied into urban politics.
That's a cool twist.
And what makes the Tikbalang so appealing, I think, is that despite having this rich cultural history and unique function, the whole misleading travelers thing, it doesn't have the kind of massive overexposure in Western media that, say, vampires or werewolves do.
It still feels fresh.
Exactly. There's room for creators to explore it without bumping into decades of cliches.
Okay, so let's try and summarize this deep dive. The Tikbalang.
Yeah.
It's way more than just a scary horseman.
Definitely. It's almost like the physical embodiment of the forest's judgment. It reflects our relationship with the wild.
Respect the land, respect the boundaries, and it might leave you alone, or even protect you.
But act with arrogance, take too much, disrespect the sacred places, and it becomes this force of correction, of retribution, leading you astray, reminding you of nature's power.
It enforces a kind of contract, then, between humans and the wild.
That's a good way to put it. And, speaking of contracts and big events, there's that final piece of folklore we should mention.
The saying about the weather.
Yeah. The common superstition that when it rains, but the sun is still shining brightly.
Yeah.
A sun shower.
Uh-huh.
The saying goes, "May kinakasal na tikbalang." A tikbalang is getting married.
A Tikbalang wedding.
Yeah.
Happening during a sun shower. Okay, that's evocative.
So here's the final thought to leave you with. If this powerful liminal guardian of the wild boundary is getting married, what kind of immense agreement is being forged there in that strange mix of sun and rain?
What does that union signify? What happens after the wedding? What new balance or maybe imbalance between humanity and the elemental world is being established right then?
Exactly. What does that mysterious celestial wedding tell us about who really holds authority over the boundaries we keep trying to cross? Something to think about next time you see a sun shower.